Hi everyone. So today we are going to know about the Brahmana and the Brahmand, and hopefully by the end of the video you would know the distinct differences, or is it that we are still going to be confused? So today we'll also know how the human self is connected to the cosmic self and how it overlaps human psychology, physiology, and philosophical cosmology, you can say. How in the Indian cultural philosophy how this all these aspects come together of cosmology, physiology, philosophy, and even psychology. You will see how it is as psychology. Now, as I've already mentioned before, that the Indian concept of philosophy is based on infinity and the cyclical concept of time and of life. Once you have this in mind, things become very clear. If you put mathematical formulas, then everything comes into a box. So, Indian philosophy also deals with consciousness, void, the ether, and energy interactions. Right? So, the philosophy has these aspects as well: consciousness, void, ether, and energy interactions. But the way they have been written, you have to understand through the lines. There are two concepts: there is the Brahmana and the Brahmand. Now, what is the Brahmana? It's a good question. A lot of people think about what it is. It is the cosmic consciousness which is beyond time, space, form, and is infinite. It is all encompassing. It is omnipresent. It is always there. It's so huge you just cannot understand how big it is. It is the invisible power behind everything. And Brahmand, what is that? Brahmand is the cosmic space and the void that is there. It is the physical universe at the level of infinity. That means we don't know where it stops. It is there. So, most of this is not seen, just like dark matter and dark energy. We call it dark, not because it is black, but it is not seen. That is why. So the it is, you can say, the dark force, right? So everything, consciousness and the Brahma and the Brahman, is on an invisible scale. So just like waves and particles, not all of them can we see at the minutest level, but we know they exist because they have been discovered in the hydrogen collider, etc. I'm talking about bosons, etc., right, at a minutest scale. But how small can we go, isn't it? And then we have the Akash, which is the ether. I think Einstein also spoke about the ether. And where do then gods fit into all of this? Gods, I think we can take it as, and this is of course my assumption, as the energies that help us reach the subtle body from the gross body. Now, what is the subtle body and what is the gross body? Now, you can say the gross body is something which is more physical, and inside, like if you go inside deep, is a subtle body. Subtle, that means you cannot touch it. You can feel it, right? It's very subtle. The gross body is that which you can understand and relate to. And in Indian philosophy, the main idea is to use the body as a medium to connect to the higher consciousness. So then, as you can see, the physiology and the mental state, and the effort has to be there to connect with the universe. So here I just have a nice video for you. It's basically, this is the Einstein theory of relativity. You see how things are, okay? So it's a visual perception, okay? So even in Indian philosophy, the cosmos is like an ocean, with many waves and ripples. Right. So we have the Akasha, we have the Brahmana, the cosmic consciousness, the Brahmand, the cosmic space, and Akash is the ether which is there. And gods are the energies that help us reach the subtle body from the gross body. Now, let me read something. I'm sure you will like it and understand what I've said right now. By whom commanded and directed does the mind go towards its object. Commanded by whom does the life force, the first cause, move? At whose will do men utter speech? What power directs the eye and the ear? It is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of the speech, the life of the life, the eye of the eye. The wise, freed from the senses and from mortal desires, after leaving this world, become immortal. You become immortal because you are into the expanse. There the eye does not go, nor speech, nor mind. We do not know that. Basically, what is it that, right? We do not understand how it can be taught. It is distinct from the known, and also it is beyond the unknown. Thus, we have heard from the ancient teachers who told us about it. So, what is that? The supreme consciousness and the universe and the life after death, and how it is when we dissolve into the universe, that we do not know but can only experience. Now, moving to the next slide. So now we have these three diagrams to make it more clearer to you. So first of all, you have the Brahman, the cosmic pure consciousness, which is everywhere in an infinite state. Then you have the Brahmanda, the universe, entire universe. We don't know where it begins, where it ends. Then you have Akash, the space, and also you can call it the ether. You have the five koshas, the human layers, and inside those layers you have the Annamaya kosha, the Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, and the Vijnamaya kosha. Okay, so these are all the how this we will now understand how we are as human beings are, how we are connected to the consciousness which is there, present everywhere around us, right? So the akasha is the ether or the space, and the movement of the concept in Indian philosophy is from the gross body, that is the physical body, to the subtle body, that is the your mind, your all the intangibles, going inside within yourselves through meditation and concentrating and then expanding because of it. So you go into the state, for example, you close your eyes and clear your mind and quieten your mind. You will realize you can hear various other things all around you which are very very far away, and then you come into that trance like state in which you finally connect to the greater consciousness. So from your physical body you have concentrated and expanded into the huge cosmos which is there. So therefore, in order to reach that invisible, we have to remove the illusion or the maya that exists, that so that the layers that are there, all the koshas that are there, slowly like an onion peel, they are removed. All right. Um, so this is where the physical and the human being comes in. So if you have a lot of problems and you have thoughts going on in your mind, slowly and you're breathing up and down, your breathing has to be in a rhythm with the universe as well. And I have heard that there are some points in time during meditation where people do not recognize that they are breathing as well. So that is an experience that you have to practice. So from so the Brahma, the Brahmand, the Akash, the Koshas, they are all connected to the food body. That means whatever is on earth, the earth takes in from earth, and all the elements come together inside of us, right? Earth, water, fire, in some form or the other, right? Human beings and creatures survive on the food that is there on the earth, and the Brahman acts on the air, the fire, the water, and earth. And as I've told you before, these are also the energies, and during the Vedic times, they were called Vayu, Surya, Agni, Prithvi, etc. I think Sita is known as the goddess which came from the earth, right? So this is like a concept which is there, that we are made of these five elements which are there, and we have our physical element which looks for nourishment as food. Then you have the soul inside us, then you have the mind, and you have the intellect and the emotions which are there, are the different layers which are there in the koshas, which on meditation slowly get removed and you come into a trance-like state, as I have told you. So Manomaya kosha is the mental and emotional aspects, which has got the five senses: the ego, energy, body, wisdom, etc. Right? And Vijnamaya kosha is the intellect, the intuition, the faculties of the mind. So Manamaya kosha is like something which bridges the gap between the intellect and intuition, and the all the wisdom and the energy body which is above the pranamaya kosha and the annamaya kosha. Okay, so therefore you align all your chakras with the universe, and then you reach the consciousness. So what is the Brahma and what is the Brahmand? So now let me read a few profound statements. That which speech does not illumine, but which illumines speech, know that alone to be the Brahman, the Supreme Being, not this which people worship here. That which cannot be thought by mind, but by which they say mind is able to think, know that alone to be the Brahman, not this which people worship here. That which is not seen by the eye, but by which the eye is able to see, know that alone to be the Brahman, not this which people worship here. That which cannot be heard by the ear, but by which the ear is able to hear, know that alone to be the Brahman, not this which people worship here. That which none breathes with the breath, but by which breath is inbreathed, know that alone to be the Brahman, not this which people worship here. So we are more than just the body and mind. Behind it is the Brahman, the real you. And so you must remove all the layers that are there to merge into the super consciousness, the supreme consciousness that is there around us. And by itself, then you become one with the Brahman, the supreme being. And then the Brahman is again omnipresent, and the word Bra itself means expansion, and the anda is probably the Brahmand, like they say, is the egg or the place, the void in which is uncountable. It is in infinite. You cannot measure it. So here comes the dilemma. What do you think is bigger, the supreme consciousness or the Brahmanda? What came first, the supreme consciousness, the Brahman, or the Brahmanda? Now, the Indian philosophy also has the way in which the whole universe is going to end, but we're not going to talk about that. So think, I know the answer, what came first, the supreme consciousness, the Brahman, or the Brahmanda, but you think what came first and which is bigger, or is it that they are the same, they are both infinite? So do let me know in the comment section what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.